Yay! Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
I know, like we just saw each other, like we weren't talking like 15 minutes before.
This is so weird. I've never done this before.
So a lot of people may show up, but probably not. Let's see. Rick is trying again. Okay, Rick, I can now see your RC logo, so that's a good thing because we didn't see that
I
before.
just
So
see
that's
like
good.
a little black screen on the corner.
Well, I can see
Says
his logo, but
RC.
we can't hear him either, so I don't know.
Hello.
Oh, I can
There you
hear
go.
you. Do you not want to show your
Okay.
pretty face?
My pretty face, Lord have mercy. I don't know what is going on. My computer's possessed. I was just broadcasting.
Okay, whatever. You're really gonna be. Hey, Melanie, how are you? Are you
I'm
really,
fiddling.
really, really not gonna be on the show with your
I'm
face?
fiddling with every setting I possibly can.
Do you want to log off and then log back in? Do you need to clean your camera with Cynthia's?
I put grease on my camera. I have Vaseline all over it. That's what I have.
Wait, this is just too funny. So Cynthia comes on. She's never done this before, right? To live stream. And I'm like, why is it so like blurry? She's like, let me clean it. And she literally takes her finger, her thumb, and starts cleaning it.
I'm going to try a different
Hey,
browser.
Tom, so not tech savvy at all.
That's not even tech savvy. That's glass. Like, it's not.
I'll be back. I'm going to try a different browser.
That's so funny. Okay, Rick, whatever. Okay, so Melanie, thank you for being here. And since you're the only one here, but anyone who is watching this on the replay or whatever, clearly Rick is having technical difficulties or he's trying not to do the show. I can't figure it out. Andrea's going to be here a little bit later. She is trying to get back from whatever she's doing, and she's going to come on the show hopefully in a little bit too. So, but while I'm here, let me just say hi to Cynthia Yvette. I was going to say Ruiz, but it's Lopez, because she married.
Well, on my Facebook, it'll be Ruiz Lopez.
Oh, is it? See, I'm not crazy then. Yeah. Okay.
No.
Is on the show, and we're going to talk about something that I think she's great at, which is time management. I know that sounds like a really boring subject, but you'll see what I mean when we get there or whatever. But before I start, hi, Kevin Vasquez. Let me also say that the reason why I know Rick is like pretending he's having technical difficulties because I asked him to be the producer on my show so that I don't have to worry about captions and clicking and chats and all this other stuff. And so he said yes, and now he's not here. So I don't know, but no, Rick is cool. So I know he's having some issues or whatever. So welcome to All About the Joy. I'm so psyched to be here. Let me first give a shout out to all the people. I was so surprised. Cynthia, I know you have social media. Andrea does not. Rick is all over social media as well. But it's really hard to start a new page. It's really hard to start any type of small business or whatever. And yeah, I'm doing this for fun, but it's really hard when you ask people to support you, right? I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking you to click on a page and follow me so that I can get the numbers. You know what I mean? But I'm always surprised by the people that actually do it. And then I'm equally as surprised by the people that I always support who don't show up for you. Does that ever happen to you? Cynthia, you like scared or something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Like there'll be a lot of people I'll follow and stuff like that. And I don't even get a follow or like or anything on my posts.
It's annoying, right? So I was really surprised. You're so cute because you're a little bit nervous, huh? Don't be nervous.
Oh, no, I'm okay.
Hi, Tony. How you doing? I can tell you're a little nervous because usually you talking like a lot. Like you interrupted me. I'm just trying to see if this is Rick. Rick is saying this is so frustrating. It's okay, Rick. I'm just messing with you. It's all good. You got to fix it.
I think everyone's having technical difficulties because your camera keeps freezing up too. I can hear you fine.
No, that might be your. So remember, you said earlier you didn't know if your internet connection. That might be.
Yeah, mine is so messed up.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Hi, Nancy. Oh, I appreciate you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Melanie is asking any updates on the couple from the first broadcast. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, girl, what's the gossip? What?
Oh, what couple did you have on there?
I didn't have a couple on the first broadcast. I guess I don't know. Melanie, you know what? If Rick ever gets on the show, maybe I'm sure he's listening, so we'll get him to tell me what you're talking about because my brain. Oh, Julio. I don't got no update. I made up those names because I didn't. You got to ask him. Weren't you on his show? He wrote. Okay, Cynthia. So Rick has a show. He's very religious. Very Christian, I should say. Not, I don't know if religious, but he has a show and he does, kind of quotes from the Bible, stuff like that. Things I have nothing to do with at all. But he has all these people that follow him or whatever. And he has, it's cool. It's kind of a cool service thing that he does every day. And one day he asked on his Facebook page or something, and he was being very cryptic, and he was asking this question about relationships and whatever. And I was like, can we just give
he was asking for a friend?
Right? That's what I was saying. But so I gave them names, and now it's become a thing. You know what I mean? Like hashtag Julio and Lucia. And I'm like, I was just like, can we just give them names? And I just came, but they're actually kind of a cool name, Julio and Lucia. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But yeah, I have no updates. There will be no updates because I don't know anything about all the drama. And go ask Rick. And he's not on the show because he's having technical difficulties. All right. Okay, let me just do a couple of announcements. It was 3 announcements, but oh my God, here he is. Let me give a grand introduction to Mr. Rick Costa.
There he is.
I'm using my stupid, ugly laptop camera instead of my nice one. It's not working. It's weird.
I don't know what to say.
Let's just move on.
Are you sad?
No, just annoyed. Hey, Nancy.
Are you able to handle all the chat and everything else or not?
Let's see if I got the power.
If you got the power. Okay, it's back to 3 announcements. So it's now I do have 3 announcements to make before we start the show, even though Cynthia and I have been chit-chatting anyways. By the way, people are asking in the chat about updates on Julio and Lucia, and I said they need to go to your show and have that conversation because I don't know anything. I'm just done. You know what I'm noticing on my camera? Let me get my thumb. There's a speck of
that is so going to be the joke now for everybody.
It's a joke now, right? Okay, if any of you noticed, Andrea, when she comes on, let me know because I'm all now in the camera and not paying attention. So whatever. Okay, couple of announcements. The first one was to say thank you to Rick because Rick has offered to be my producer on the show. Oh my God, there's still a thing on my camera. I know you guys don't see it. No. Oh, maybe it's on my computer. Oh, it's on my computer.
Oh my gosh. I don't have any superpowers. I'm clicking on the chats and nothing's happening.
Oh, you don't? All right, I'll do it. It's okay. I don't want the chat on the screen though. Oh, so you guys can't even see the chat?
I see the chat on the side.
Huh?
Yeah, we can see it, but they can't see it.
Oh, then that's not fun for them. So can they see it now?
Yeah, they'll still be able to see it
as they start scrolling or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, totally cool. No problem. Is this the best way to do wait, Rick, why don't you have access? I sent you the access.
I know. I don't know. I'm clicking, nothing's happening. I don't
know. Okay, let me see. You know what? I thought we settled this before.
I did too. We'll just figure it out next time.
I know, but I wanted it for today. I wanted to not do this today. Hi, Kevin. I know, testing. All right, well, Rick is going to produce my show someday, but I wanted to say thank you to you. I wanted to say thank you to the people that are supporting my show, but I wanted to give a little caveat. And I know Rick is going to be like, don't say that to people. But you know what? I thought about this and I have to say it. Some people, I didn't realize I had a coffee with me thing on the podcast. And what happened? Did you guys just say something? No.
No, sorry. I'm just trying to fix my screen.
Oh, okay, cool. So I don't know what happened, but let me just say this. I do not need any money. So as much as I appreciate, a couple people sent me money through a have coffee with me thing that I've now didn't even know was up on my podcast, but also some people, because it's pretty easy to find my Venmo, sent me money. I'm good. I'm not doing this for money. I appreciate if you want to support me on the show, like Rick's going to hit me in 2 seconds. But if you want to support me on the show, what I really need is people to add me on YouTube. I need numbers. Get your mama, get your sister, get your brother, get your whatever, all your fake accounts you have where you go and check out other accounts. You know what I mean? Use all those accounts and add me on all of those things. That's what's going to be really the best way to support me, support my podcast. Here's why. Ultimately, I would love to get an investor so that I could do this and not be working 50 hours a week, maybe do it twice a week, maybe have different ways of doing the show. Also, support my guests. Go to their websites. Oh, see, Rick, this is where you would go in and you would put the overlays that I have carefully done so that people can see. See, here's Cynthia's website. If you want to go check it out, it's CynthiaYvetteLopez.com. And then I also have Rick. Can I have both of them? Oh, they just RickCosta.com. If you want to support me, support my guests. That would be the better way to do it. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And thank you for your support. I don't need any cash. If I need cash, I will be out here with a GoFundMe page. I promise. It's not even about humility. People know me when I got money. I talk about it. When I don't have money, I'm like, I ain't got no money. Remember, I was there for you. Hook me up. Okay, I'm not like that. You know what I mean, right? So
You are, don't lie.
I am right. I'm horrible. Okay. All right. So that was 1, 2. Please stop sending me money. Oh, look at the queen has arrived. Let's take a moment to welcome her in. Hey, Andrea, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm just doing my nails.
Hi.
Your hair looks nice. Is that why you were late?
This is I've done nothing to my hair. Look.
Oh, we're getting too much feedback, Rick. Why are we getting feedback from Andrea's?
See the circle gear thingy?
Yeah.
Everybody probably has it. Click on that. Go to audio.
Are you talking to me or Andrea?
Everybody.
Yeah, and it should be.
Click audio and then click echo cancellation should be on.
So it should be blue.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Mine is that way. Are you still getting feedback?
It's better now. Go ahead.
I think we're good.
Hold on. I have like a mic. Hold on. Well, just
okay. We'll wait for you. Go ahead.
Amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I still didn't get that comic book. I wanted to see them.
Oh God, the comic book from last week. Oh God. Yeah, Ons, I think you're good. Maybe it was just me. Tony says he didn't hear any feedback.
Okay.
So it could have been just me.
This is probably better anyway. I'll plug it in.
Yeah. You know what I'm really sad about? Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to answer the chats or whatever, but that was why I was asking Rick to be my producer because I don't multitask. I honestly don't believe anyone multitasks. Rick. I really do. I think it's a facade. People think, but I really get distracted easily. And so I really just want to have a conversation. And that's a third announcement. And then we're done. And we're going to get to our interview and conversation. But if you want to be on the show, again, please reach out to me. I'm psyched. I am going to have my friend Jimmy, who's a cinematographer here in Hollywood, who's worked on some pretty cool films. And he's also a director of his own films. He's going to be on the show in April. My friend Simon, who's in the UK, who's a big, huge sci-fi geek. So, Rick, that'll be one for me and you. He's going to be on the show as well, hopefully sooner rather than later. So I have some other people who want to be on the show. So just reach out to me. And I would rather have you on the show than be worried about answering everybody's chat message as quickly as possible. So please don't get offended if I don't answer every single chat. I go back after the show and make sure I say hi to you and thank you or whatever. I'm acting like we have 40,000 people watching us and I don't have time. Yes, Rick. Yes.
I think I figured out maybe why I don't have my magic powers is because on this, remember I'm going to use a different browser. On this browser, I'm not logged into Restream. So let me go back to my other browser, and then I'll be.
Oh my God! Why are men so high maintenance? Like, okay, Rick, you want me to log you off, or can't? Yeah, okay.
Nope. And he's gone.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Cynthia and Andrea, you guys know each other. This is like my family
Yes.
right here. It's my peeps. Um, Cynthia is, of course, people don't know this, but she's actually my cousin. So we've known each other for a long time, but we really became really close in the past, I don't know, what, 10 years?
10, yeah, I'd say 10.
10 years, we became pretty close. So I wanted to talk to you about time management. Well, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself, what you do, and more importantly, what I'm interested in is your side hustle.
Oh. So I'm working administration right now at the hospital.
You're in Boston. People should know.
I'm in Boston, yeah, Boston. So I'm in one of the big hospitals, main one. I don't really want to say their name. Let's see. I just graduated from college and for anthropology. And my side hustle is scrapbooking and making cards.
Okay, so one thing I'm going to tell you is that I think, and it might be too sensitive on my side, but your mic keeps hitting your shirt and it keeps making feedback. So it's all good. You might want to hold it or whatever. But here's the thing. Your cards are amazing. So you hand make one. Did you get one?
Yeah, remember I told you like when they were out here visiting and she sent me a card after? I might even have it.
I still have mine. And I scanned it again. My producer, I scanned it in so that I could show it, but I don't know how to do it. So here's Rick. Let's see if we can get Rick back on. Hello, Rick.
Welcome back to me.
Yeah. So now do you have access? I
gotta wait for somebody to type a chat. Somebody please type something.
Well, there's nobody here now. They're all gone because it's taken too long to have the show, I guess. It's okay. It's cool.
Like,
I'm fine.
do all of this first.
they're like, because I just shown there's so many people. Now everyone's like, what's wrong with her? She's crazy. Okay, so I don't understand the whole scrapbooking thing, Cynthia.
It's more of just like a mental health thing. So I basically just make. Oh, I actually show you right here.
Yeah, but don't you actually go? You go to a thing and do it. Like you go. Oh yeah, right. That's so cool.
Yeah. So once a month, me and 3 other girls meet up, and we just kind of do our own thing. So I usually start doing the scrapbooking, which is basically just having certain photos, and just making like a collage with it, making it look pretty and things like that. But
you always downplay it, but you actually do stuff for other people. Like you're doing this whole wedding thing for this woman.
I do.
Okay, am I the only one having problems hearing
the wedding
her?
thing that I did. Can you hear me?
I hear like static, kind of.
Yeah,
it's
Andrea, what do you hear?
But I can understand.
Yeah, I can understand it.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about the wedding thing that you're doing.
Yeah, we hear you.
So the wedding thing is, I don't know if you've ever seen like on Pinterest, where the bride will have a hanger for her dress, and it has like her name and then the bride and then the wedding date. So that's what I did for her and her bridesmaids.
Oh wow! I don't know what you're talking about because I don't do fancy weddings, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about, and that's a skill and a talent to be able to I don't even have
it does take some time
of my children or my wedding. I just have a box of pictures. So,
which most people do.
Yeah, right. But being able to put it together in a way that looks lovely, that makes people feel good when they look at it, I think that's there's a real talent there.
But I was also kind of so one of the things I think is interesting is everyone tells Cynthia that she should be selling her cards. And here, let me just go. If she doesn't sell her cards, but she should. But you don't have an Etsy thing yet. You didn't do anything I asked you to do, right?
No, because
wait, let me just be clear.
You know that Carmen didn't ask you to do this.
Right.
He gave you 17 bullet points of what you need to do.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, if just one of us would make it big. One of us with a talent.
And when we came down,
celebrities or something.
She had a whole itinerary, so you already know.
I know how this goes.
Okay, hello. All About the Joy is Carmen's show. Okay, we don't beat up the host because I will click you off. Okay,
that's your talent, Carmen, is getting people in freaking line, right?
Well, clearly not, because we would be millionaires right now if she would just do the cards.
See, I'm not a business person, so I need a business person.
I know, but I am. Andrea is. That's the point.
See, y'all can be my people, and then I'll make the cards.
Look at you could do religious cards for Rick. You could do like Christian cards.
Do all kinds.
And then we could get like a percentage.
BRB, I'm still here. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Look, I'm just messing with you, but I did suggest that you should. You know what I mean? But the thing that I like about you is it doesn't matter when I call you or try to talk to you or anything. You are always in a joyful mood. You work 40, 50 hours a week in a job that I will just say is not easy because it's the doctor's office, right? It's emergency room thing, right? So you have a lot of pressure. And then on top of it, you have your family who is lovely. No, they are. It's a family on the East Coast. Her family is my family, so that's what the joke is. But I mean, you have a lot going on, and then on top of it, you have this side hustle. And so I know for Andrea, I don't know about Rick, but I want to ask Andrea about the side hustle thing. How did you end up moving on from the job you had that we talked about last week, which was from hell, the recruiting job that you hated, to finding your way to actually doing this full time? And I believe it was because you did your side hustle. You were doing it alongside your 40, 50 hour a week job.
Yes. And I had a 42-point plan from Carmen. No, just kidding.
Oh my God. By the way, and I'm not paid for none of this advice. I just want you to know this is like free. Okay.
No, I worked the side hustle, like, I probably put in an extra 30 hours a week, staying up all night, like doing, I was doing like YouTube videos and editing in the middle of the night when my kids were toddlers. So I did that for a couple of years. Let's see. Yeah, a couple of years. And so I set a date. I saved money, obviously. That's an important part of it, right? And so I set a date where I was like, all right, on this day, I'm quitting. And then
this day I'm quitting.
And I kind of backed out of that. Like, what do I need to have in place? And I didn't make the date. I was like, I'm just not ready, and I was like super, super bummed out. And then let myself be depressed for a little while. And then I just sort of, okay, I'm going to set another date. It's going to be far enough in advance. And I'm going to do all of the things that I think I need to do in order to get myself ready. And so I followed through. I mean, it was still touch and go, still is sometimes, right? But and then I ended up giving my notice, which was I was like, okay, once I give my notice, that's it. That was
a big deal. Yeah, I remember that.
But I gave like 2 months notice,
which was crazy, but
I know it was stupid, but, hired and trained my replacement, all of that kind of stuff. But, it was really about figuring out for me, like, what do I really need in terms of income, right? And so there's what would I like, what would be replacement income, and what do I need, which is quite often a much smaller number. And I have learned to live, quite honestly, with a much smaller number. I don't think I have yet made in a year as much as I was making when I left. And that was in 2015. So,
I think people think starting your own business is really like everyone likes to glorify how great that is and how wonderful it'll be. And there is such a struggle in doing it. And I I don't know if I'm a big fan of people doing a side hustle. I mean, I think people should if they enjoy it like Cynthia does and
Yeah.
really loves it, and it's part of their heart. But, I love Gary Vee. Everyone knows I do. I do. But this idea that I've just come to a different understanding that this idea that you have to like struggle and be in pain and suffering and whatever, if you really want to make it, I just think that's also a facade. I think you have to work smarter and not work harder. I've been working my whole life, and I'm still not where I want to be financially,
Well, and I think that there's an important part of this that.
Oh wait, Rick, I'm sorry. Andrea didn't hear you talking. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
No, I was trying to be funny, saying, "Oh, my life, I had to fight."
Like, is that Harpo from The Color Purple, which is what? Carmen's favorite movie of all time. Oh, my life. Andrea, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I was just saying, like, Cynthia clearly loves this. It's something that she is going to be doing, whether she's getting paid for it or not. And I think you don't have to monetize your thing that you love. You can if you want to.
Well, she has to, because that is my retirement plan.
But, it can also take the joy out of it.
Part of Carmen's plan.
Right?
There is a plan.
It is all about the joy. So if all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, I have orders for cards, and it's like 1,700 of the same card, and that's not fun for you. That's not joyous for you. I don't know.
Then you call Carmen. So, Kevin, I would put up the chat. Okay, wait, I have to answer it. Kevin wants, Gary V would not like this view. Oh, okay. I thought you meant because the chat wasn't up, but you're talking about this viewpoint of the hustle. I got you. Go ahead. Go. You're right. He wouldn't. I love Gary V, but here's what I think would be great. He'd be okay with me disagreeing with him. He'd be fine with that. Andrea, I'm sorry I cut you off. I'm trying to be good about the chat. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying I don't know. You have to think about, like you said, you're not a businesswoman. Do you really want to monetize this? And maybe it's like, I can make a few extra dollars and I'm happy doing that. And maybe it is. No, I want to go full force and try to make this a business. But you got to really understand what that means. And it might mean that it's not as fun for you as it is when you're just doing it because you like to do it.
Right, exactly. I feel like anyone who has their own business should never see it as a job because they love what they do.
So here's the thing. Let me chime in.
You wouldn't have your own business if you didn't love it.
No, but you know what? But that's not true. I mean, I just look at it. I know a lot of people who have their own businesses, right? Because they call me in to help them with their stupid businesses. But I mean, and even having my own little business, it's not that this is what I love to do. It's the skill level that I have that pays me exactly what I need and gives me the freedom I need to do what I need to do. But if I could get paid to do this and make the same money, of course I would rather do this. I went to a theater production last night. And loved it and left being like, I need to get back on stage. And you don't get paid nothing in theater if you're in New York. I'm in LA. You really ain't gonna get paid nothing if you really got to do it because you love it. But if you could get paid to be performing, I'd rather do that. So everyone who has their own small business doesn't necessarily love it. And it is work. I mean, I know Andrea loves what she does, but we've also had conversations of how much she's like, It's not like if she had $1 million, like if she won the lottery, it's not like she'd be like, no, Carmen, I got to keep doing my business. She would leave that like that.
Well, and I think truly, I believe, and I say this without being, whatever. I think most people who have their own business don't love what they do.
Right.
I think that they've done this, and so this is what they know how to do. Or you're maybe someone like me and maybe Carmen, where it's like, I'm practically unemployable at this point because I'm not coming into an office. I'm not having someone tell me what to do. You know what I mean? I've checked out and I've been out for so long that I'm not going to do that. So it's the trade-off of, frankly, making less money and having a different kind of stress. I mean, Carmen and I have talked about this. It's not that you have less stress. It's just a different kind of stress.
Yeah.
I will trade that stress of working for myself for the stress of, you know, again, I had a job that I absolutely hated. So it's maybe a different situation, but
Eric, wait, I got to say hi to the love.
Yeah.
I got to put him, I don't know. Oh, it won't. So Rick, it won't show up because he already typed hello. So it won't show up now on the screen because I turned it off.
You can't click on the comment on the far right and give you an option to put it on the screen. That's what I thought I was
I
gonna
can
be
do
able to do.
that.
There you go.
Oh, so I'd rather
That's what I
do
thought I was gonna be able
that.
to do. That's what I was
That's what the
thinking.
producer would be doing. Right.
Mhm.
Hi, Eric.
What's up, Eric?
Miss you.
Eric,
Love
hi.
you. Eric, you got to be on my show. You're one of the few people I actually want to come on the show. No, I'm just kidding, people. I love you. Eric, I want you. All right. Hey, Rick. So we haven't heard from you about this.
I still work
what
for
is
the
your
man.
thought?
I work for the man. I don't have a lot to say.
Are you
Would
serious?
you have your own business though? Is there something that you love that you would be like, yeah, I want to monetize this?
Oh, he does. He does his show. You love doing your show, Rick Costa. If you were getting paid $100,000 a year, right, you wouldn't have to work for the man.
True.
Right? So you have no opinion whatsoever. It's okay. We can move on to the next question.
I mean, I don't know what I could contribute because I work for the man.
Maybe you're not producing, you're not contributing. Why are you here, baby? What's going on? What's going on?
Bring a little bit of male energy in the room, you know.
I guess so cool. But you know what? Look, I will say this. I was thinking about this too because I mean, this is kind of going off the subject, and Cynthia and Andrea, bear with me, but Rick, do you know who what's his last name? I forget. Okay, I don't know his last name, but do you know who Tanis is? If I say Tanis, Tanis is a Goa'uld in Star Trek SG-1, and if you saw his face, you would know who he is. Okay, so I reached out to him on LinkedIn. Okay, it's a TV show, and Andrea, Richard Dean Anderson, who's MacGyver, was on this show. And sci-fi geeks loved this show more than they loved MacGyver. So just to give you a little flavor.
Well, I never saw MacGyver either, but what is the show?
Stargate SG-1. It's like old, but it's great.
Got it.
Okay, but and Cynthia, are you too young to know what MacGyver was?
No, I know MacGyver. I never watched it though.
Okay. Anyway, none of that matters. I will say that.
I'm so glad we're having this conversation.
The whole point is there's a guy on the show that played a Goa'uld, which is a bad guy. His name is Tanis. He's on LinkedIn. I reached out to him because I want him to be on the show. I don't know if he'll be on the show but Rick, this was the coolest thing. He was studying to be a doctor and then became an actor and a kind of successful actor, and then went back to school to my UVM. That's how I figured out who he was, University of Vermont, and is now the anesthesiologist over at Cedars here in Los Angeles. So he left acting. I know. I'm like, this is Tim. Wow. This is like a bad guy on my show that I love. But I would love to talk to him about that kind of transformation. And only geek people like you and me would know who he is. You know what I mean?
And what does he do medically?
Everybody would like to know who he is, but I'm sorry?
What does he do medically? What does he do?
He's an anesthesiologist. So if you go into surgery, he's the guy who has literally.
Those are like the highest paid doctors.
Yeah, right? And he has your life in his hand, literally.
Nah, that's a Goa'uld. He ain't doing that to me.
Right. And the thing is, people who watch the show, but you would know by his face who he is. And again, I thought I would have shown that to you, but I don't know how to do the desktop thing. But again, I don't want to do it. But anyways, I want to have him on the show as well. So I reached out to him. I don't, we'll see if he responds, but that would be cool to talk to him at some point in the future.
I'm trying to Google him, but I don't.
Oh, well, why are you trying to Google him?
I don't know. I just want to
because I said good looking man, huh? Because I said he was good.
I was like, anesthesiologist, huh?
What is Eric writing? I watched SG-1 last year or year before. I got hooked. Right? Oh, I am so hooked. Mr. Gales is in the house. Shut up. Hello there, friend. We love you. Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry. Andrea and Cynthia, you don't know who Christopher Gales, but you should. You should know who.
Hi, Chris Gales. Is that a guitar I see?
Hello.
Oh, musician. Andrea, you would love him. You would love this man.
Hello.
But yeah, so Tanis is a Goa'uld. He was on like recurring or whatever. Yes, that's him. Yes. Good looking man, right? He was an anesthesiologist. He's never going to come on the show if he watches. I told him. Oh my God.
I ruined it. I'm so sorry.
No, wait, I'm laughing now because I'm like, I told him, check out the show maybe later on if you get a little bit bigger. He's going to watch the show and be like, that bitch is crazy.
And pass.
Oh, it's so funny. Yes. Oh my God. Teal'c. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start geeking out to all the people who watch SG1. I love that Chris Gales watches SG1 too. Andrea and Cynthia, that's your homework, honey. Next time you come on the show, we need you to be into SG1 so we can all talk about it. Richard Dean Anderson, you guys know who he is, right?
Yeah.
Cynthia's like, honey, I am young. Okay.
Nothing.
No, okay. He was so good looking back in the day, and now I think he's still good looking, but he's like in his 70s, and he's exactly the same as he was on the show. Like, I don't think he was acting because I was watching a few of his videos, like he's doing interviews, and I'm like, he's exactly see, and that's what I mean. A lot of people get jobs that they love to do. And I don't know how he got into acting, so it's not about him. But this idea that the people who become successful and do the jobs that they love to do, just to bring it back full circle, it's not that they worked harder than any one of us. I think there's another element in it. And even though I hate the word luck, I'm starting to believe there's something else because I myself, and I know too many other people who worked really hard, have overcome so much, who have done so much, and they're still not in the place they want to be. I know I've said this before. I'm not in the place that I want to be success-wise. It's not really even about money. It's about getting up every day and doing something I truly enjoy. And no offense to my clients or all the staff and people that I work with, it's exhausting to keep explaining the same thing over and over again. But, enough about me for a moment. I don't want people to get upset. But, okay, I wanted to talk about some business cliches that you guys might hate or have heard too much of. And I'll give you an example. This is a great example of what I hate doing. So I have learned, why does it say hide message from the stream? Oh, because I have Chris Gales thing up. Rick, is that what it is?
A particular message?
Because I have Chris Gale's message up here. So how do I take that off?
Yeah, we'll take it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So it kept showing me a thing and I was like, why is that doing that? Oh, look at Eric. Eric, it's all about the journey, not the destination. Baby, I know, but throughout the journey, I need to have more joy and more money. I'm just saying, I'm done. I'm so done. I'm done. I'm done of the struggle. Like, I am the queen of it's about the journey. I'm getting too old.
I don't want to be on the journey with a stick and my, crap and a handkerchief like a hobo.
You know what I mean? I'd like to be driving a Bentley on that journey. Just a little bit. I don't even need it for a little while. Like just 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's true though. So this past week I had one of the teams that I work with. I asked them to do something and they were like, oh, I'm just so busy. I'm so busy. And anybody who knows me knows that my pet peeve is people saying that they're too busy. Why? First of all, take it out of your lexicon. Is that the right word? Lexicon? Out of your vocabulary, whatever it is. When you say you're too busy, first of all, you're acting as if you're the only person on the planet that is overwhelmed with whatever it is they're doing. That's number one. Number two, all it means is you're not a priority to me. That's all it means. And it was like the third time. And I'm the kind of person now that I'm like, oh, you too busy? Okay, good. I'm done. figure it out on your own. Done, done, done. I was like, I don't care. And of course, the thing came back and slapped them in the ass, as you knew it would, because you have experience. That's why you were telling them this thing. So my pet peeve is people saying the word or using the word busy as an excuse for not prioritizing correctly. So I didn't know if any of you had any of those things that kind of bother you at all. And that's okay if they don't, but.
It does. No,
Oh.
I think I'm too busy for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have time to do what you want to do. Isn't that funny how miraculously you have time to do everything you want to do? You just have to have time for it. But stuff you don't want to do, I'll get to it later, and then you procrastinate. But when you want to do it, I have time.
That's right. That's right. I love the people who are like, oh, I couldn't get that done. I was so busy. And then in the next breath, they're talking about the show that they just sat and watched from beginning to end, all the episodes, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't.
They binge watched everything.
They're like, oh, did you see whatever the latest show is on Netflix? I'm like, what? Like, no. No offense. Everyone can do whatever they need to do. But Rick, you're absolutely right. I agree with you. I add the 4 on the end of that. Wait.
For you. What
Rick said.
Oh, what Rick said. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Busy for you.
Yeah, for you. Andrea, were you going to chime in, or Cynthia? No.
I mean, I don't really mind if people say that. It doesn't really bother me, honestly. Like, it just is one of those things where I'm like, and you said prioritize correctly. And I was like, well, I don't mind if I'm not a priority. That's fine. Because you know what? Most of like most people aren't a priority for me either. So it's like, you do you, I'll do me. That's fine. I don't know.
No, this is in a work environment
about it.
I'll say that again.
I mean, even in a work environment, I think I'm still pretty chill.
I don't think it's a
if they don't want to do something with you, then just about it. Like, why do they always have to sugarcoat it? That aggravates me.
Yeah.
That's true. Yep. I hear that. I'm sorry I talked over you, but for some reason I'm getting like a weird feedback, but I think it's just on my end. So I'll try to clean it up in the recording afterwards. I think it matters, especially when I'm hired to do a job. So for me, Andrea, I mean, I know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about our friendships or whatever.
No, I'm talking about work too.
For me at work, I'm in charge of a team and I'm trying to help that team. And then when I'm telling someone that they need to do something and it's the third time, to me, that's a big deal. Chris Scales. I don't drink myself, but I hate it when sitting down with someone who is sipping on their $8 $5 drink, complaining about them. Oh my God.
I agree 1,000% on that one.
Ooh, if I had that thing where you could do the clap, I wouldn't use it, but I'm just saying that's for sure. Someone said the other day too, this totally freaks me out, but people, because I realize they haven't watched a movie and that bums me out, but then also they haven't thought it through. When people say, you shouldn't take it personally. I didn't mean it personally. This is business. Right? So I turned, and this was like to a client, I turned around and I said, you know what that whole saying is? All that saying is making you feel better about what you're saying to the person. Because no matter who you're talking to, if you're about to fire someone and you're like, you know what, don't take it personally. This is just business. It's a business decision. It's personal to the person who is being fired because they're not going to be able to pay their mortgage. They're not going to be able to whatever they need to do because they're not going to get a check. And it's always personal. I don't know who came up with that, but I bet it was a CEO somewhere. Some, the man, as Rick likes to call him, the man, because it does. It makes it excuses what you're about to do to somebody, and it gives you like an excuse, and it says, you know what, I'm about to do something bad to you or make you feel bad. So, but don't take it personal. It's just business. So that's another.
Probably a consultant who came up with that.
For more in-depth information on that, Carmen actually has a YouTube video all about it. Go check it out on her YouTube.
Oh, look at Rick playing producer. I do, but that was from like a year ago, right?
I still remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Andrea, what were you saying? You were saying that you think a consultant came up with that.
Yeah, I was joking. I was like, you said it was probably a CEO, and I said it was probably a consultant.
Yeah.
It's not personal. It's just business. Tell them that.
Cynthia, how many times have you heard that in your life working for somebody? It's not personal, it's business. If you haven't, that's good.
I actually haven't, because I haven't been fired from a job or let go from a job. And I'm always honest with everybody at work. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Let me my text messages from you just recently and see if we can share some truth to what you just said.
Here it goes.
I'm just messing with you.
Fact checker.
Are you sure that's what you want to reply? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
I said work, not family.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I was on LinkedIn yesterday, and this young man, I don't know if he's young, I don't know, and I'm assuming he's a man, but he wrote out, and I had to giggle, this was so cute. He wrote out harsh truths I know at 32 that I wish I knew at 22.
And then you want to reply, bless your heart.
I didn't. I did it. So here's the thing. I don't want to say his whole name because it's not that I'm dissing what he wrote. I love that he wrote it. And it's like 20 of them. I mean, he wrote a whole bunch and I highlighted. I'm not going to read them all, but I just want to see what you all felt about some of these just to make sure. A lot of the people that were responding were clearly under 32. So
Well, and you know what? I'm gonna, before you even read them, I'm gonna say, you know what? Good for him for even trying to learn.
That's right.
So
That's right. And good for him for having the courage to write these out. I added him as a friend because I want to meet up with him in 10 years and be like, Sahil, remember when you wrote this all out? Some of them are good. There are some that are actually really good. So wisdom beyond his years. But I'm not going to say his last name because I don't want to, whatever. But so one of the ones he wrote was, most of your friends aren't really your friends. They're just along for the ride when it's fun or convenient. Your real friends are there for you when you have nothing to offer. Now, before you react, number 9, most of us need fewer friends and more intellectual sparring partners. Friends are easy to come by, but intellectual sparring partners question our assumptions and force us to level up. So I just thought it was an interesting thing about friendship, and I wanted to hear what you guys thought about it. Andrea.
My friends are my intellectual sparring partners, or else they're not going to make the cut.
Okay, we're done with that. That's exactly the point. No, I'm just kidding.
Ditto.
Right? Like,
Cynthia's answer, ditto. Rick?
Yeah, no, like the first part, I agree. Like, as long as you have something to offer, everybody's your friend. But then, let's say you go broke. Oh, yeah, sorry. They don't want to hang out with you no more. Which is, really, that's crappy human behavior. I think, when you need somebody, be there for them. Because then, guess what? Next time, you might be the one that's in trouble. They're gonna remember. Yeah, I remember what you did to me. So yeah, but I also agree with the eagles don't hang out with chickens. You know what that means?
No, is that a Bible thing?
No.
Oh, eagles? What? Eagles don't look at me. 12 years of Catholic school. I've read that Bible from cover to cover.
No.
I swear to God, I have. And I'm like, is that a Bible thing?
We always view eagles as these majestic birds. Like, we have respect for them, right? They're like way up there. And chickens are like, buck, buck, buck. We don't have a whole lot of respect for them. They're just clucking chickens. But if you want to be with eagles, if you want to be like an eagle, you got to hang out with the eagles. You don't hang out with the chickens, with the knuckleheads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I get it. I totally get it, but I just don't.
That's classist, as the kids would say. They just call you right out on it.
Okay, wait. We're talking over each other.
Sorry.
Wait.
Oh, I was saying I like what Christopher wrote.
Yes.
Yeah. In the chat.
Okay. Chris Gale said, new thing I recently heard is if you are not showing up for me while I'm struggling, don't expect a backstage pass when I make it. That is, what's his name? Will Smith. It's a variation of what Will Smith said. And whether you like Will Smith or not, that was one of the most brilliant things he said. That's a variation of it. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. We were all talking over each other, so it gets a little bit hard. So if you see someone's lips open, just wait so that they can talk. Cynthia, what were you going to say? Like, Rick, I'm going to take you off the show. Okay. You're useless today.
No, I was just saying that I liked what Christopher wrote.
Okay, Chris Gale's job. It's so weird. I guess I never call him Christopher. Rick, did we always call him Christopher? No, it's Chris Gale's, right?
It's Chris. Yeah.
He's just very formal on Facebook today. Andrea, you were going to say something else about friendships. I think you kind of put it all together in a nice.
Yeah, I don't know. And I guess I was joking about what Rick said. I was like, that's classist, right? Like some chickens are very smart and have a lot to add to the conversation.
I know some classy chickens. Okay, I'm offended.
No, I mean, you know me, Carm. I was never one to have really superficial friendships, so I never really had to worry about that whole scene where like people are hanging out with me for whatever, because I never really had anything to give, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know. I just always chose friends based on quality over quantity, I suppose.
Yeah, I think the problem, I mean, like if I were to respond to his LinkedIn post, I would have said something. You need to understand what your definition of friendship is. And I think that's really where the problem is people call everybody their friend. But the real test of any friendship or any relationship really isn't when things are easy. It's when things are hard. And if there's one thing I have learned in my entire life is everyone wants to be around you when everything is good and fine and people be cordial and nice or be all up in your business because they think you're cool or whatever. But then the minute you fall, some of those people, most of those people won't be there to hold you up. Not just to help pick you up, but I mean, hold you up, you know? I have to give a shout out to Dennis Scala. He's on LinkedIn and he added my podcast the other day. And Rick, well, I think, you've all read my book and I'm not pushing my book at all, but Dennis Scala he was my camp counselor when I was 12 years old and I'm still in touch with him. And I always think about the people that are still in my life who I actually consider friend. Maybe I don't talk to them every day or every week or whatever, but I'm in touch with them. Those people are my friends and those people are more my friends than people who think they talk to me on a regular basis, who think they're my friends. But I know that if something were to happen to me, they would never show up. You know what I mean? They would never show up. You know what I mean? So, but he was there at a critical moment in my life when, he didn't have to be. So I think the definition of friendship is really the thing you have to clarify for yourself. I'm not telling other people what friendship is to them, but I think that's the problem. Maybe people confuse acquaintances with friendship. I don't know.
Dad would always say, when you go to the hospital or jail, then you find out who your real friends are.
Oh, and jail's the real one.
Yep.
Jail is the real one. Because I'm not going to visit you in jail. No, I'm just kidding.
That's because Carmen's going to be there with you in jail.
Right. I'm going to be leading the way. Ooh, look at Cynthia getting a little frisky. 3 minutes in. The real Cynthia comes out. But it's true. No, I would totally. But the jail thing is a big one because I remember how many people were just discarded when we were growing up because they were in jail. Just discarded, incredible. Which the irony is a lot of people that end up getting out of jail who are good and decent people but made a mistake or the system, you know what I mean? We can go down that whole thing. But a lot of people who end up coming out of jail, there's good, decent people who just want another shot.
Yeah.
And end up being, I have a friend on Facebook, and I won't say his name because I don't know if everybody knows, but he did a whole movie about it, but let me shut up. He is, a writer in Hollywood and has done scripts and he made a movie and he's like friends with a whole bunch of people. Andrea, I think you know who he is, but one of the most wonderful people I've ever met. And he was in jail, for stealing lots of money, lots and lots of money. Anyways, okay. I thought this was another good line, or let's see what you think. we should all stop talking about how many books we read last year. It's much more impressive to read one book and have it deeply impact you than to read 100 books and not feel a thing. Let me tell you, people who read books are snobs. Like, we're just, I agree with that 100%. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but you're big readers, right? Cynthia and Andrea? I don't know about Rick.
Not really. Actually just started getting into books, actually.
Who sent you a book recently?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, like
I sent her
agree.
spare. I sent her spare.
I was think that I think reading a book that really makes you feel something that you really get into is more important than reading thousands of books.
Yeah. I agree. Andrea doesn't agree.
No, I just stop policing what people are doing, man. If people want to read 100 books and are thrilled with themselves, fantastic. If they want to read one and really get into it, that's great too.
Yeah, I'm kind of over though. Like if you're ever on like I don't even know what the name of it is because I stay off of it. Not Amazon, but there's the other one where it's all the group people and anyway, it doesn't matter, but they're always like, oh, I just read this book. And they read it so fast. Like, that's the thing. Like, I get jealous because I'm like, I don't read that fast. They're like, oh, we're going to read this next week. Do you want to join our reading group? No, because I'm not going to read the book by then. It'll be like 4 months later. Like, that's when I'll have time to read the whole book. So I hear you, Andrea. Andrea's so chill and cool. All right.
I love books, but, and I like to hear what other people are reading about, and it's all interesting to me, but that's like competitive reading is a little dumb, and I just said not to judge people, but either way, right? Whether it's like, I read one book and I took in every single word so thoroughly, versus I read 100 books and I'm, on my 170th now, just shut up and
Chris
read.
Gale's like they just listen to audiobooks. I think that's true. A lot of people listen to audiobooks.
Really? I've never listened to an audiobook. I still go to the library. I'm a dork.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I like a hardcover book. I do.
Yeah, I gotta have a book. I mean, I have 6 books right here that I could grab right now. Plus, I have 8 on my nightstand.
Okay, so clearly this is about Andrea. So yeah. It's like 97 books right here. No.
Well, I haven't read them all, but
no. I don't listen to audiobooks. And Andrea's gonna find this. Well, I don't know if you find this funny, but I also don't listen to podcasts. People get really upset with me. First of all, you have to understand I've been producing podcasts, so it gets exhausting to constantly be producing a podcast, your own, but then other people's, which is when I was doing that with content, when I was doing content management and producing, that was what I was doing. But also when I listen, it doesn't register to me. I have to have a visual component to it. The only time anything audio works for me is music. And I zone out if somebody's just in my ear and I can't see you. And I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing or a good thing or a flaw or a strength. I just think it's who I am. And yeah, go ahead, Cynthia.
Honestly, I think it depends on the person because I use a lot of audio books for school. Because I'm a slow reader myself, and sometimes I'll read the same paragraph like 10 times, like, what did I just read? But listening to it sometimes helps you understand it more. So that did help me during school.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I used to drive a lot far, so that helps pass the time. You're driving
there's different learning modalities that people have, right? Like that's, when you're in school for teaching, it's, you have to present things to the students in different ways. And some people are visual. Most people are visual. Some people are audio they have to hear it. Like you said, some people are tactile. They have to have something in their hands. I mean, it's different for different people, I think.
Let me just read Tony's comment. Redundant conversations on podcasts with no new insight have become exhausting to me over the past 2 years. I hear you. right there with you. I mean, everybody has a podcast. I mean, me included. Everybody has a podcast. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think that's why I try to change this up and do it more of a live streaming thing because I thought it would be much more fun and engaging. But we'll see. I'm kind of sick of, at least Andrea and Rick. So we won't have them next week. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you.
We and Rick will do our own thing together without you.
Okay. We'll see how that goes. Mm-hmm. Anyways, okay, so we're at the 1 hour mark. Rick, thank you so much. Let me just see what else he wrote. I thought this was a great one. I loved this. Failure doesn't always lead to growth. Sometimes failure just leads to pain. Sometimes the growth doesn't come from the failure, but simply outlasting the darkness. I was like, here's my thing. It goes back to this thing I was talking about earlier about like, I don't think you have to suffer or like you have to work really, really hard. Like, I think there's an element missing. And in a way, that's kind of what he's talking about. This idea that, like people always say, you're going to fail 100 times, but it might be that, next time that then or you won't, or you won't. Do you know what I mean? Like I love Michael Jordan, but people like to use Michael Jordan as a great example of someone who wasn't the first picked and failed at this, and then he finally made it. And I'm like, that's Michael Jordan. Like, I don't think it happens for everyone. And then people will say to me, if you give up, I didn't say nothing about giving up. I didn't say anything about, but I think it goes back to what Eric said. It really has to be more about the journey, right? Not the destination. But I don't think that's satisfying enough for me.
I don't know if it was Benjamin Franklin, but somebody like way old timey.
Someone way old timey.
They said, when you fail, don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as you just discovered another way that won't work. So you're getting closer to success.
Oh. I think that was Thomas Edison.
I told you old time.
I could be wrong.
Old time. Look at, I said old time.
All of those guys are covered.
I think that's fair. I like that actually. Eric just said
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to read Eric's. Either he didn't dig deep enough or wasn't able to see the silver lining or the hint to change course. Yep. I guess.
Or maybe it's just not enough time has passed to get the learning out of it. Everything is learning to me. It's growth, whatever, it's not about okay, don't give up because that 101st time, might be the one that hits. Every single time you are learning something, you may not know what it is for 10 years, 20 years, you look back on situations, you're like, oh.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm just, I don't know. I can see that. But then there are things that continuously happen, even if you keep getting up and trying again and learning. I'm in a space right now where I'm trying to decide what the purpose of life is. Because let me just say it this way, for the longest time, I thought I really knew. I really did. For myself. I don't mean for everyone else, right? And I've always said this. You're not going to be surprised. I've always said the purpose of life is to love and be loved. I've always thought that was the umbrella of why existing mattered, And I'm not saying that isn't true, that isn't still true, but it's not enough for me. And I thought by now at this age, after everything I have accomplished, everything I have done, that I would be like, okay, excellent. Maybe I didn't make this or do that, but no, I'm still like, okay, I still have 19 things I have not accomplished. They're not new things. They're not new things. Andrea, you and I have had these conversations. We've had these conversations, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm always learning. I think life is about learning, but I don't know every failure and every time I stumble and every time I fall, I learn something. Even I don't know if that's true. For me, I don't know about everyone else, but luck is the residue of hard work. So Oprah used to say, I know. So back to all about the joy in the most negative sense possible. But Oprah used to say something that would annoy me, and it still does today. She would say, and I don't know if it's her quote, but she used to say it all the time. She would say, luck is when opportunity and something meet.
Hard work.
But I think that's is that what she says? Opportunity and hard work. Me
Like
and my thing. Oh yeah. Well, anyway, I know the word is opportunity. Yeah, and hard work. Anyways, that's the gist of it. The problem is, I would say opportunity is the luck. Not everyone gets the opportunity. You know what I mean? And I've said this a million times, if any of us were given, well, except for Rick, no, but if any of us were given like $200,000 and it was just to do something creative, you would do it. I'm not saying you'd be successful at it, but you would put that money to it. You would work hard at it. You would do your best. And the difference between us and some other people is, even if we failed in this scenario, we would fail and we'd have to go back to our regular jobs. Other people would fail and get more money to try again, right? From their parents, from the bank, from whatever it is, right? Because you all know people who continuously are not as talented, not as smart, not as brilliant, I know Andrea and I do anyway. Andrea and I know people who really, really, really should not have what they have access to. They shouldn't. And yet they have all the opportunity in the world and they just keep failing continuously, but it's still okay. They still have a roof over their head and the car that they want and the money that they need and the clothes that they want. And yeah, it's very depressing.
Well, I'd say, to go back to what Eric said, it's about the journey. There's, that was sort of Oprah's thing, was the hard luck and hard work and opportunity. But I think it's Nicole Hannah-Jones, the woman who put together the 1619 Project.
Oh yeah.
I've heard her talk several times, and one of the things that she always says is, some of us won't make it.
Yep.
Some of us won't make it. And I feel like that it's so confronting, and like it hurts to hear it, but it's so honest too, but part of what she says is you still have, you've got to still get up and try. So right. I think it goes back to what Eric was saying, like that's at the end of your life, maybe you'll have made it, maybe you won't, but it's the friends you made along the way.
Bringing it back, right? And the friends and the time that you shared. And this sounds like a card you could make, Cynthia. You could make a card.
Yeah.
There we go.
It could be like a project. No matter how many times you fail, it's the journey, right? Like some weird hallmark,
You may not make it, but it's all about the journey.
Right? So depressing. So thanks for coming to All About the Joy. Oh my God. Let me do some questions. I don't know if the questions are going to matter so much. Wait a minute. Just to kind of, hopefully we can end on a funny note. Earlier we were talking about, or I was talking about Richard Dean Anderson, who was 73 years old, right? So I was wondering, and Rick, you cannot answer Linda Carter, but who is someone in their later years that you still find attractive?
Well, define later.
I was saying 70s, 80s, 90s. I'm sorry, 40s, 50s, 60s, because we're so young.
Know your audience, girl.
That's so funny. All right, I came up with some people to help y'all out because I knew. Well, clearly, I think Richard Dean Anderson he's old as F, right? But he's just charming. He's so charming. Harrison Ford's a good one. Look at Denzel Washington is only 68, but Lord have mercy. Beautiful man. Jeff Goldblum. I did not realize that he was older. Cynthia, do you know any of these people I'm talking about? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not that.
I know, but I'm trying to make you work it. You know what I mean? Okay, and this might be a weird one, but I didn't realize how old Steve Martin is. He looks great. I don't know if I think he's hot, but he looks great. Steve Martin?
Yeah, how old is he?
I don't know, 70-something. I didn't write down his age. But I do think Harrison Ford, although I don't know what it is about him, but he's always annoyed me because he's so kind of detached. I think it's because he's high most of the time, right? Like, isn't he a big pothead?
Yeah.
He just seems always so detached. So there's something there, but
Does not give a shit
he
at
does.
all. Oh,
That's why we love him. That's why you love him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts?
I can't think of any old dudes.
Rick? Rick's like,
do they need to be alive?
Go ahead, Andrea. I'm sorry.
I said, do they need to be alive?
No, there's no rule. Let me see in my rule book. Wait a minute. I'm high and this show is up in my recommend. I don't know who Kip Kip is. Hi, Kip Kip. Thank you. I appreciate you. That was funny. I love that.
I was
How
gonna
can I make?
but then I got high.
How can I make? I can make Kip Kip's things. I'm high and this showed up in my recommend. Woo, that's funny. Is that your cat? That's the evil cat.
He's not evil.
Isn't that the Cynthia? Weren't you there when she had the evil cat?
It wasn't evil.
Oh my God, you guys have very bad
down a
memories.
lot. He's 5 now. It was just his birthday this week.
Well, isn't that the cat that like was gonna scratch? That's the cat.
Yeah, I mean, he will still, attack you, but he just does it less.
You know what? People with pets, you people crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. I love you, but crazy people. Rick.
Probably like a bajillion. My mind's blank because there's just so many possibilities.
Because you are not adding to my show right now.
Okay, how about Sean Connery?
Isn't he dead? Oh yeah, Andrea says.
Yeah, but
that is okay.
It's okay. There's no rules. Right. Yeah, I guess Sean Connery back in the day. Yeah,
for
sure. Mm-hmm. Jean-Luc Picard. I can't help you with women, Rick. I don't know what women are.
Marina Sirtis. There we go. We on Star Trek.
Oh yeah. They don't know who that is. Marina Sirtis.
Is Jean-Luc Picard the bald dude from
Patrick Stewart?
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Although you ruined it for me because I was loving him during COVID because he was doing all that Shakespeare stuff. And then Andrea, you and I were talking, whatever, and he like married somebody who's like 40 years old and he's like 80 something. Remember, you ruined it for me because you like researched it. Yeah, it was you because I was loving it. And I got all offended. I was like, oh man, I was so bummed. I don't know why it mattered to me. But maybe that's how do you guys feel about, age differences after a certain age? It didn't matter to me, but then somehow it bummed me out that he married somebody literally twice his age younger. Jeff Goldblum too, same thing.
They all do. No comment from me.
Cher is hanging out with some guy. I mean, yeah, I think it's a rapper, and he's like 27, and she's 70 something.
Wow.
There you go.
That could be her grandchild.
What?
That could be her grandchild.
I think he's 27 or something. I don't know, but he's much younger. I mean, But somebody wrote and said, "Yeah, but she looks good." I'm like okay, that's all that matters.
So you work, but you're gonna have different obstacles than most people do.
Yes.
Yeah. Andrea's not saying a word because her husband's 15 years younger than you?
Not quite that much, but
close. I'm sorry, 14 and a half. I'm sorry. I'm not making a judgment. I know Walter, it's fine. But I'm just saying 40, 87. If it was reversed, you'd be calling her a gold digger, right? That's what we would be doing. We'd be like, that's a gold digger. But Tony, my experience has been that if there's more than a 5-year gap, there are issues over time more than normal. Yeah.
That seems fair.
That's fair. Totally fair.
I've seen several couples though that are 10 years apart and it worked perfectly for them. So 10's not too far apart.
Yeah, you know what? I am very judgy. Very, very judgy. I admit it. Everyone's always like, I don't judge. Yeah, okay. So you're not human. I judge all day long. Huh?
Everybody, listen, if you have a baby and you are interviewing babysitters. You are judging each one of them because you don't want a pedophile in your house. Hello? Everybody judges. Everybody judges.
Everybody judges. Thank you, Rick. Rick, you didn't contribute a lot today, but when you did, it was powerful. That's what we're looking for here at the podcast. Okay.
All right.
Quality over quantity.
Yes, that's right.
Another theme today.
All right, so we're at the 1:15 mark. Any last words from everyone? I had more questions, but we're kind of we'll save those for next time. But we're at the one. This was kind of fun and simple, and we had technical issues. Rick, you're going to help out next time.
We'll try to figure this out. Get my stupid camera to work, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not talking about the camera, but just the producing thing. What was the whole point of me doing that today? And then it didn't work.
We'll have to figure it out. We'll do some testing or something.
Cynthia, anything else you want to say? Did you have fun your first time? You're going to come back again?
I did. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got more comfortable later on. Like in the beginning, you were a little nervous. It was so cute.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but see, it's it's when you and I talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. I want you to come on the show. I'm gonna send you a instant. What am I? Oh my god, I'm blacking out. DM. Oh my god, I'm like losing it. Andrea, last words, my friend.
Good to see you, Cynthia.
You too.
And you too, Carmen. And you too, Rick.
Oh, I was like, I thought she was gonna be like Rick.
I'm just waving.
No, I'm just glad you guys could
say specifically to Cynthia because I haven't seen her in.
I think it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
I think it was more than that, wasn't it? I don't know.
No, it was 2 years. It was your birthday 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years this June.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years this June. Yeah. I only remember that because I put it towards it's all about my surgery. So again, here is Carmen, and here is the world. Right? That's how that works, right? Like so.
Since we talked about books, I would like to recommend everybody go to Amazon and look for Canela by Carmen Lisette. I'm just saying.
Oh, Rick, stop doing that. Thank you, but stop. I appreciate you, but stop. Yes, and you can read all about like
producers supposed to do, Carmen.
I'm sorry.
So that's what a producer is supposed to do.
But you know what? I'm happy to give my book away at this point. I have enough. If people want my book, just send me a message on my contact. I don't need people. I know I suck at this.
You can purchase it on Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Rick, you said you were going to do your audio version of your book, right?
Still haven't done it, but I'm going to. Hopefully,
we're going to do it. Okay. Yeah. Rick also has a book. But you have to be now. You don't have to be religious. But what is your book again? It's a little deep. All right, I'm not gonna say no.
Religious. Do I have it here?
What is this something about?
It's about.
What is it called?
Unlocking the Mystery of Speaking in Tongues. It's about.
Oh, Andrea gonna hit you in about 2 seconds. Andrea's gonna talk to you. She's gonna speak in tongues for you.
Wow.
Andrea and Cynthia do not know how religious you are. That's what I love about you. And I love your people who come and visit and stuff because he's super religious. Like Bible reading, quoting, singing, everyday service, religious.
I got this book
every day.
I got this book the other day. Useless Information. I'm gonna pick one out.
Okay.
I think I bought that for my brother for Christmas one year.
You cannot taste food unless it is mixed with saliva. This is true for all foods. I did not know that.
Wait, say that again?
What?
It says you cannot taste food unless it is mixed with saliva. This is true for all foods. I had no idea.
But taste is actually connected to your sense. So if you don't smell the food, you actually can't taste the food.
More information. Here we go.
You couldn't possibly taste it without saliva. I mean, I guess they're saying like if your tongue was dry.
Even if it was dry, there'd still be saliva to taste it. I have to try that with ice cream.
That's why it's useless.
That's why it's useless, right? Useless information. Right. Yeah, but Andrea, he does a show every day. Where is my
7 years every day? Never missed a
every day. Rick Costa. I've gone on it a couple times, and I just don't say a word. But then I say stuff when he does the game. He has a game at the end. But he sings religious stuff. He writes his own music. He does Bible stuffage. He prays for people. I'm saying it in my way, But here's the thing. and I've said this a million times, that's how you know friendships are cool, because me and him can, when we disagree on a lot of things, major things, but we can have great conversations about them and respect each other. And there's not a lot of people you can do that with.
That's very
especially
true.
nowadays, you know, with the whole kind of Trump and anti-Trump people.
I gotta show you something.
No, don't start a political thing, because if that's a Trump hat, I'm gonna lose my shit in 2 seconds. What?
I got a Jesus bobblehead. Just got it the other day.
Okay. That's awesome.
Oh my God. But
How can I not buy
Star Wars
this thing?
character.
Come on.
Okay, that was awesome. That was so perfect. But anyways, I think it's kind of cool. So I love that. Again, if people want to check out Andrea, go to the Genesis group, and it's .com. It's spelled exactly as it is on the screen. She's a consultant and she is the CEO of the company, but I don't want to say what you do because I always have the wrong wording, but do you want to tell people a little bit?
I work with businesses to make their workplace culture better, and I do leadership coaching.
Yeah. So genesisgroup.com, check that out. And again, one more time. What?
I said she needs to come to my job.
Give them the information, have them watch the show, tell them to add my show, All About the Joy, and then have her come out, fly her out to do it. She goes to Boston. Honey, she was in Arkansas the other day. Oh, where were you? Iowa. You can go to Boston, okay? Iowa. No offense to anybody from Iowa. We love people in Iowa. Cynthia, check out her website. It's Cynthia Yvette Lopez.com. We got to shorten that up. We got to get you on an Etsy. Things we got to do, but her cards are on there. Some of her samples. Send her a message if you want to get some more information on her beautiful cards. And I don't know how to do the whole showing, but she did a card for me on the this is how cool she is, on the anniversary of my hip surgery. So a year later, she sent me a card. Can I try to do this just so I can show?
I would love to see one.
Okay. Well, this is, let me see if I can do this. What I get confused by is I don't know how to show and see it at the same time. Can you guys see it yet? No. I don't know what it's doing. Okay, wait. All right, wait. Here we go. Let's see if I can go to my desktop, and then I got to go down. So here's the front of it. Can you see it now?
No,
not loading.
No, but you can see my desktop.
Oh, there it goes.
Okay, so this is the front of it, right? This is all, she handmade all this, right? This is the front and this is the back over here. And then my favorite part was the inside. Cynthia, do you remember this?
Yeah.
Look at me. It's so cute. Happy anniversary on your new hip.
Happy hip anniversary.
His birthday.
Oh, so cute. But she sends those all the I lost you. Did I lose you?
No, we're good.
Okay, but like you have to show me how to do it so I can actually see people when I do it, because the whole screen goes blank and I can't see anything. Yeah, I'm doing it wrong. But anyways, my point is, isn't that cute? And that's just that's one of her simple cards. And it's like, and she sends them up for all different things. Huh?
So it's super cute and so sweet.
Super adorable. And it was like, I wasn't expecting it. And, you know, like those little things just make your day. They just make you so happy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the little things. It really is.
That's why I like making them.
And I know, and I'm just thinking how much joy I get from them. And I could see how people would want to buy them and that the profit margin would be extraordinary. Just saying.
Retirement.
I have all these plans out there. My poor goddaughter, Juliana. I'm like, so when you make it big, what do you have to do? She's like, I have to make sure you're okay in retirement. I'm like, take care of your mom and dad first. It's totally cool. But what about Carmen? It's so sad. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for coming by. We'll be back again. Oh my God, we went an hour, 30 minutes. We got to stop because I can't edit all this.
Well, we did technical difficulties in the beginning. So, you know, got to give that a pass.
No, but you know what happens is I try to not just post it all on my podcast because it's too much. But then going in and, look at some point,
Good night, Eric.
I'll pay for an editor or whatever, and we'll do this, and it won't be a big deal. Thank you, Eric. Good night. Thank you, Tony, Kevin, Chris Gales, everyone who stopped by. Melanie. Was Melanie here? Yeah, Melanie was
Kip,
here.
Kip. Thank you, Kip.
Kip, whoever that was. Thank you so much. And thank you all of you for coming, and I hope you'll come back. And have a great one. I'm going to end the stream, so say goodbye.
Bye.
The bobblehead. Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.